Good morning. Hey, I hope you're having a great week, and I want to share some things I picked up from Paul David Tripp. Quote at the very beginning of this says, "For the believer, fear is always God forgetful." It's when we forget about God. If God is sovereign and his rule is complete, wise, righteous, and good, why would you fear? And a lot of times it's like, well, because some circumstances could go wrong and bad things can happen to good people. And it's like, yeah, but in the end, still good happens to God's people. The ultimate good does. So back in the day, back in Old Covenant days, the words of Hezekiah, the king of Judah, well, they ring true to us today as they did back then. It was kind of a scary time, centuries and centuries ago. Judah had been invaded by the powerful king of Assyria, Sennacherib. And Hezekiah had prepared and armed Judah for battle. So they had all the stuff that they did, they had all the stuff that they needed, so to speak. But he also addressed something else with them. He addressed the people with a more significant issue because he knew what people are like. And he knows that in these moments, sometimes God's people, even his chosen people, are given to fear. And he knew where that fear comes from and what it results in. And it's not good. Often in these moments of challenge, the people of God would panic because, as he puts it, they become identity amnesiacs. In other words, they forget their true identity. Do you ever forget your identity? Do you ever feel like, oh, God's forgotten about me, so I'll forget about him, and I'm not really a daughter of God, I'm not really a son of God? And they would forget that it was God Almighty and his glory that was protecting them and working for them. So in this moment, Hezekiah, who is the king, decided to not just be a good king and a skilled general, but he also became a wise pastor to his people. What were the words that he said? Well, we find them in 2 Chronicles 32, verses 7 and 8. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or dismayed before the king of Assyria and all the horde that is with him." And it's not that they're not significant. That's not it. "With him is an arm of flesh, but with us is the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles." What are your battles today? Do you realize that ultimately the battle belongs to the Lord? Remember that song? We used to sing that one all the time. But the truth of the matter is that if you're depending on your intelligence, your strength, your wisdom, there's a good chance that you'll fail. But every time before I preach, I ask for God's help. I don't pray aloud for words of hope, but I've already prayed when the camera's not on. I do not talk to people about the Lord without talking to the Lord about people, because it's not dependent on the words that come out of my mouth so much as it is what God does with them. In everything that we do, simply asking for God's help. It doesn't have to be a long prayer, but it's acknowledging who he is and dedicating everything that we do to him. What's your battle today? What is your enemy that seems overwhelming? The Bible is replete with examples of David versus Goliath, Hezekiah versus Assyria. I could go on and on. And sometimes they lost battles. Why? Because they did not look to the Lord. But when they did, they were victorious. May you be as well. God bless you.